Well, yesterday was a lot of fun climbing that mountain. Morgan and I are both pretty sore today, but that's not going to stop us from going on another physical adventure. We're getting ready to go walk uphill for a 4K until we get to this attraction. I don't know. It's supposed to be, I'll explain it when I see it. I don't know what it is, but we're going to it. Morgan and I are trying to figure out clothing choices right now. Look, she looks super enthusiastic for the day, aren't you, honey? Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you looking forward to most?
None of it.
No. No. Yeah, okay.
If it wasn't raining, it would be better.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Morgan is not pumped. She's not being shy about letting me know that. I think it's because it's raining out, as she said. Sore. Anything else you're not super happy about for the day?
I don't know what to wear.
Oh, you don't know what to wear. Well, it's not really raining that hard. It'll be fun. It's always fun once you get out there and start. I'll share with you a little trick that I use to get myself ready to go out and have fun no matter the weather. And that is, I get up in the morning bright and early and I go for a cold water swim. I think once I get out of the water and then I towel off in the wind and I get a diagnosable case of hypothermia, the rest of the weather for the rest of the day seems easier to deal with. So try that at home. Go freeze your ass off in the early morning and then go out in the rain and see if the rain still feels cold or if it's just fine. Different ideas when it comes to footwear for hiking. We've got Morgan rocking some Danner boots, and I'm rocking some LL Bean sandals. Pluses and minuses. Their feet will be warm and dry. My feet will just be soggy and uncomfortable. Oh well. I think what Morgan really needs is just a little bit of breakfast for the adventure, then she'll feel a lot better. So we've walked into town and with the mission of maybe a little caffeine, maybe a little bacon and eggs.
And the movies too.
I just wish there was a better way to capture a hill grade on video because you'd be impressed, but it probably just looks flat on camera. But we are hoofing it up the hill. This is the reason why we decided not to bike today, because our legs are tired from the hike yesterday and we didn't want to bike up hills, so walking is a little easier. And sometimes if you hike uphill for long enough, you're rewarded with a gorgeous view. Not bad, right? So from the boat, you can see all these big green hills, and then you see one brown hill. And then Morgan said she wanted to go hike to Tablelands Park today. And these things are related, I find out, because as we walk closer and closer to the park, it becomes clear that what we're doing is walking towards this brown hill, which is great because now I get to learn what it is that makes this hill brown. So Morgan and I walked 4 miles through the howling wind and the pouring rain to find out what's the deal with these rocks and go to this park and read the signage. And so it turns out I'm not much of a rock nerd, I don't know anything about it, but I've been reading the sign that says that these rocks are part of Earth's mantle underneath the big ancient ocean, and then because of plate tectonics, now it's on the surface. But most plants find these rocks to be toxic, so there's not a whole lot growing here. And so, you know, from the boat, you see all these green hills, and then you see this one that's just brown and bare because it's just full of these ancient, you know, mantle rocks. The more you know, learn something new today.
Come over.
See, brown rocks, and apparently if you crack them open, they're black on the inside. Plants hate them. So what do you think, Morgan? 4 miles through the howling wind and the pouring rain. How do you think about our destination in the end? Not impressed? Yeah. Full ass mountain weather up here today. Yeah, so this Tablelands Rocks place is definitely the big hot tourist attraction area. Check this out. Got a right full parking lot. Got the tour bus. So this is what people are doing today. Well, Morgan, we hiked 11 miles in the shit weather. Learned a lot about rocks. Would you say you had a good day?
It wasn't bad. Besides, my toes being jammed in my boots, my hips being sore, my calves being tender, my quads being tender, and yeah, we got ice cream, so that's good.
Yeah, I guess it's all better when you finish your hike with Haagen-Dazs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful morning, but I'll state the obvious. It's a rest and recovery day. Morgan and I's legs are shot from 2 days of big hiking. But since the weather's clear, I can show you that we hiked up that brown mountain right there. In the rain and the crazy big winds. At one point, I was stepping up on a rock and a gust hit me right at the wrong time when I was on one foot, just about knocked me over, blew my hat off, and it was pretty entertaining. Well, we're getting ready to depart Newfoundland, which is pretty sad. This has been a really, really epically beautiful, wonderful place to hike and visit. I'm really glad we made this trip. But we got to keep the party going. We've got to get to the Great Lakes, and we're doing that through the St. Lawrence Seaway. So we're gonna make a big push, 750 miles to Montreal. We may do it straight through, but more than likely we'll just really you know, make the miles early and then stop somewhere to relax and rest when we get closer to Montreal. This would be if we do make the 750 miles, that would be by far the longest transit Morgan and I have done together, watch and watch. But I mean, I figure it's kind of like that crossing of the Gulf of Maine, 250 miles, just times 3. And we're also something a little bit different. We're doing an evening departure. We're just getting a head start on it. The winds are going to be decently mild, and then pick up tomorrow. But you know, we'll just get underway. It's better than, you know, sitting and sleeping on anchor and, you know, wasting time, I guess. So we're gonna get on it. Goodbye, Newfoundland. It's been really cool. And a nice, clear, settled evening to do this on too. Clear, deep water, dramatic views and hills. epically challenging hiking. Newfoundland, Gross Moraine National Park. It's been wild, it's been awesome. Here we pass Woody's Point. What do you think, baby? The longest transit we've ever attempted.
Yeah,
Yeah?
we'll see. Try.
Famous words from Morgan. We'll see, we'll try. It hits differently when I say it, though, doesn't it? Well, here's my last look back at Newfoundland. Really glad we went out of our way to visit this place. Don't you agree, baby? Glad we went out of our way to visit this place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're just sailing in the rain. Got this little cover up, which is okay. It keeps all the little raindrops off you, but then the water will just pool in it and then splash all at once. And pretty unlucky when you're under that big splash. So I'm pretty soaked. It's happened to me a couple of times. But something about the rain puts me in the mood to clean. So, I mean, look at this cockpit. I don't know if that comes through very well on camera, but I can say that this thing is bling right now. So, feel a little better about my life now that I got everything scrubbed up in here. Sailing with just the jib up. The wind's just slightly abaft the beam. And we're still making 5.4 knots. Nothing wrong with that. The moment crossing a shipping lane at pretty close to a right angle, I am monitoring one ship that's 8 miles away. I've got AIS, and so it tells me that we're going to cross within 3 miles of each other. It's a pretty comfortable margin, but always worth monitoring any ships in the shipping lane because they move really fast and you don't want to be in their way. Morgan and Muesli are off watch, just relaxing down below. It is 1400, also known as 2 p.m. and I just made an entry in the logbook. And you know what, maybe I'll show you the logbook. That might be interesting to some folks. Maybe not, maybe so. So a logbook is something that commercial sailors all do and very few recreational folks do, but Morgan and I like it. Turn the light on there. And so what we do is every hour we mark down our GPS position and then we write down the conditions out. And so that's the condition of both the boat, how we're sailing, what direction, what sails are being used, what's the wind direction right now, rainy, cloudy, that kind of stuff, weather. And then we check the barometer, because a barometer tells you a lot, but not in a snapshot. You want to track it over time and see the rate at which it's rising or falling. And so that's where the logbook is real important, to see how that goes over time. And then we check the battery, and that's expressed in percentage. And we do that on the charge controller back here. Sorry, the lighting wasn't great on that one, but you get the idea. And then the last thing is do a bilge check. I just pop open a hatch. Just to be very sure that we're not flooding, because that's something that is best identified early. So every hour we do that process. And it'd be great if we had a proper logbook or a write in the rain book for a day like today, because my sleeves are really soggy, and so when I go to write, sometimes I smear. But we've tried to shop for a write in the rain book at every port we've been to so far, and I guess that's just not a very popular item because well, we can't find one. So we make do with just like a school notebook kind of thing. I guess this is getting kind of dark, but if we ever had to get into an incident where we had to defend ourselves in court, having the logbook is a piece of evidence that shows that we were paying very close attention. And so it's gonna, no matter how the outcome comes out in some sort of incident, it is good to know and to be able to prove that we were monitoring our situation constantly on board. We've got Miss Morgan and Mr. Moosey looking pretty cozy in their sea berth. Can't roll out of that little box, can you?
Oh, but I can't lay down fully because Moosey jumped on my lap there.
Yeah, so you guys inchworm down. Inchworm with the cat on your lap. Here we go.
And he's getting himself comfortable with sleeping down below while the boat's moving.
Yeah, he's usually on deck.
Yeah, he doesn't like the rain.
Nice. Well, I'm hoping you get a little bit of sleep so that night watch goes well.
Yeah, I think I got an hour so far.
There we go. Well, the rain has lightened up and the wind has picked up to well over 20. We're just sailing. Just the jib. Yeah. Wind is blowing slightly abaft the beam, and you know, we're doing good speed. I mean, over 7 knots. Just got to go this direction, just another mile or so to really clear that shipping lane. And then I'm gonna fall off some. We're gonna be on a broad reach. I'm loving this. Well, no big changes this evening. Weather's laid down a little bit. Same sail configuration. It's really tough to make an interesting video when I just sit around making sure the boat doesn't run into stuff, and that's it. Hey guys, want to take a look at my logbook? And I've been keeping myself entertained by listening to like some sports physiology and so like science podcasts, and it's got me thinking about like scientific studies. I know there's no money in it, so nobody's ever gonna study sailors' sleep, but that's what's on my mind too. And I think it's kind of interesting that it's very different when a boat is moving and you're off watch and you get some sleep. I mean, every sailor that I've talked to about it is very familiar with the idea of underway dreams, which is when your dreams are, when the boat's moving and you put your head down on your pillow and then your dreams are intense, just pumped up to 11. And very vivid, really pretty exciting. And I think it's probably because the boat's moving and there's noises around you, and your brain's just got to turn up the volume to you know, keep you in that space. I mean, I don't know anything about it, just my guess. Another thing that's really different about sleeping underway is that I feel like I can get like 8 hours of sleep in 2 hours. You know, when I'm on land and I'm working my job, I mean, I get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, and I try to do that every night. Well, that's never going to happen when, you know, I'm taking watch from Morgan, and Morgan's taking watch from me. At best, I can get 5 hours of sleep, but that's never happened. I mean, it's always been far less. So you get 2 hours or 3 hours of sleep, but wake up pretty fresh. I don't know what's up with that. I would never feel fresh after 3 hours of sleep on land. I mean, maybe it's like just being fresh compared to baseline. Maybe if baseline is like really sleep deprived, then that little bit of clarity after a 2 hour sleep is all you need. I don't know, but I mean, it's like 2,200 hours right now, 10 p.m. for those non-military time nerds, and I got 2 hours of sleep, feeling great. I'll be here till 4 in the morning. Then Morgan will take over. No, I got that wrong. It's 2,200, and then I'll be here till 2 in the morning. And that's when Morgan will take over at 2 to 6. So I guess that's one thing about getting 2 hours of sleep is maybe you lose your ability to do math. I don't know. I mean, sailors have been going around the world doing trigonometry and sight reduction tables and stuff on all kinds of different sleep. So maybe it's just me. Just woke up from down below a second ago, and because it really feels like we're sailing. How we doing up here, baby?
Good, close hauled, 6 knots, over 6 knots, on flat water.
Yeah, I'd say we're sailing. Been on watch for a couple hours. Keeping yourself busy?
Yeah. Waxing and cleaning.
Man, what'd you wax and clean?
The cockpit. And trying to do laundry.
How do you do laundry on a boat?
Put some fresh water in a bucket with some little bit of laundry soap, then just kind of let it soak for an hour or two and give it some commotion, and then switch it over to another fresh water with no soap and
A rinse.
a rinse cycle,
Yeah.
and let it sit and then give it some commotion, and then I use a chamois towel to roll the clothes in the chamois towel to get the excess water out, but I can't figure out where I put a chamois towel, so it's on hold for right now.
Where'd you find your chamois, honey?
With the plumbing supplies.
Plumbing supplies. That doesn't look like plumbing supplies.
They fit.
It fits, it ships.
They fit shapes.
Well, the wind has all but died on us, so we're gonna motor sail in the last little bit. About 9 miles to go to our destination for the evening. Now, I didn't take French in school at all, so I'm terrible at these pronunciations. But I'm gonna butcher this and call it the Archipel de Megan Archipelago. Yeah, right. I bet you that's not it. But we were gonna sail right by it, but we flipped open this guidebook that said it's a must-see. I mean, there's these monoliths, and you know, we're not really rock nerds, but the little picture they had in the guidebook looked beautiful, so we're gonna pop in and check it out, do some hiking, and you see Morgan's got the laundry on the line. It kind of reminds me of like when the old-timey Navy ships would put up their full dress ship signal flags, except for we're just displaying to the fleet here that we're cruisers who value clean clothes. Morgan and I both had salads for lunch. Got some fiber in the system. I know that I eat like garbage pretty much when I'm underway. I just like these like quick grab processed foods. Not something I usually eat on land, but I go for like cookies and Pop-Tarts and bowls of cereal. And you know, terrible for me, I'm sure. So the system's probably loving some of those vegetables. And you know, I'm convinced myself, it's probably a total lie, but I'm convinced myself that, you know, I just carb load the whole time I'm at sea. That way when I go to land and I hike and I bike, I've got some energy to burn off. I'm sure you can't out-train a poor diet, but I'm still gonna tell myself, you know, that lie to continue on with my terrible eating habits at the moment.